Come on, charts, they're frozen. Let's stop doing this. Cancel. Gamma. Okay, let's go to...
So reminder, at the bottom of the hour, expecting the Swiss government press conference. There isn't a video yet, but we're still trying to find one.
Morning.
All right. Good morning. Good morning. Anybody else show up?
Okay.
Morning.
Morning. Morning.
Gracie is not going to be in. Her dog got attacked by another dog.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Nah, her mother-in-law's dog.
Oh, that's living with her? That sucks.
Yeah, so her dog has to stay overnight at the vet and everything. She's pretty upset.
I'd be upset too.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. All right, let's go. Let's do a real quick summary, guys, because please say good morning in the chat room for me on YouTube. All right, guys. So real quick, news. Trump's eyeing 100% chips tariff, exempting firms that actually invest in the U.S. They're looking like they might just delay the tariffs on China for another 90 days. Temporary Fed governor likely to be named in the next 2 to 3 days, Trump has said. The Kremlin, Ukraine, and Trump are going to have a meeting in the next few days. A lot of stuff hanging on the next few days. There's a little discrepancy between Japan and U.S. leadership on how the tariffs are going to be stacked, and we've been on a bull run, man. Let's look at this real quick. You look at the 60-minute chart, okay? We went down last Thursday night and Friday, all right? You can see that here on this big chart right here. And then the question was, were you going to keep going down or whether we were going to have a little bit of a bounce back? We said in our room we thought we were going to bounce back. That was only kind of a pullback. We hit this 61.8 line down here, and all we have done is go straight up. Okay? It has been a afterburner market for sure. And if you look at this chart right here, I drew this for everybody yesterday. Anybody that was in the room, wasn't that many people. But I said we were going to have an ABC up most likely, and the target was 595. We've already exceeded that overnight. Today's the day that we looked for having a wedge zoom or link stink. Okay, that means that we could have, but we've wedged overnight, and we've already hit our possible high. We have another target up here at 708. So we're pretty high on the day already. So we could either just continue that bull run and go up and get it right away and then pull back, or we have a pullback and get it and go up. And I don't know which way it's going to go. I don't have as good of a feeling today now because we've had such a massive run. So I would say that we kind of be a little bit chill in the first 15, 30 minutes, take premium trade setups that have to do with first touch, first color bar rule. We'll see whether we're going to wedge up or wedge down to start off with. So a little bit of a wild card because we've already hit and exceeded a very large measure move. Now, Vac and I were talking before everybody was here. You know, we've added a lot of stuff to this chart. So the market's going to kick off here in a second. Don't trade just for a minute. Just listen to what I'm going to say. When the number one best trade, bar none, for most traders in this room, is going to be the first touch, first color bar that has to do with the iSnipe chart, okay? And there's a couple reasons for that. Because it's a very simple method in having the moving averages be behind the colors. All right, when you get the first touch, first color bar rule, your stop can be within 8 points. And if you're not within that 8 to 10 points, just you can get stopped out. It is what it is. But you're going to get 10 to 30 of these a day, depending on kind of the day it is. And 70% plus of them are going to work out. So it is the biggest help to have this chart, because you're going to have your stops to get you out, and you're going to have, if the color bar goes against you. So if you're shorting when it's red, you're buying when it's blue. If you buy when it's blue and it turns yellow, you get out. If you're selling when it's red and it turns blue, you get out. If the color bars go against you or you get your stop loss hit, you get out. Now what about this chart here, the iStructure chart? Dude, this is an amazing chart. You just have to learn how to use it a little bit better. The premium trades are double arrows with a buy or sell dot. Now, when you have the base cloud is green, okay, just watch this chart with me for a minute. Base cloud, green. Where did it shift? Over here. It went from red to green. You can see it widening here. You get a double arrow with the base cloud and the guns cloud matching the same color. Look at that move that you get. Okay? It turns pink again, fuchsia pink. Then you get a double arrow with a buy dot with the guns cloud matching the same color as the base cloud. Look at the move that you get. All right? So what you want to do is be in alignment between the two, particularly when it shifts from the base cloud going red to green, and you start seeing space between the clouds. That is momentum. That is momentum. That is the first trade you take, is the double arrows when they're on top of each other or touching each other. You can still take it when they're around each other, like this one over here. They're almost touching each other, but they're not quite. But it is still, if you get a double arrow in the right direction, it is a very good trade. When we hit our peak times, or we're hitting something that shows a price limit extreme, and we cross back over to pink, when you end up getting a double arrow white and red, it ends up working out good after you've hit the extremes to the top side. The same to the extremes on the bottom. If it's a red base, but your extremes, then the white arrow and the blue arrow will be good. But try to keep the arrows in alignment with the base cloud, and that's the best trade on this. The other best trade is, after we cross from below to above the base cloud, you take the very first fractal after it crosses. The second one you do is you take the very first pullback with a fractal between the Fox 3 and the Eagle. If you focus on those three trades on this, you'll be fine. Where people get in trouble is if in the afternoon they think it's going to bounce off of Eagle or bounce off of Fox 2 or bounce off of Viper, and it flushes through. But that's usually because it's in the slog, and it's usually because we've been on some kind of big run, and it ends up flushing through because it's got to get some kind of give back. And then people get run over. But that's counter trend trading, right? The best thing to do is to wait for a bounce, let's say off of Eagle, if you don't want to just test the waters yourself. Let the color bars change. Like, for example, here. We come back, it shoots through this. All right, it shoots through all the way down here. That's fine. Wait till we end up getting a spike back to the upward side. So we bottomed out. You get a 4 and 6 on the ITS chart, snipe chart. And then you buy the first color bar blue on the way back up. People are getting in trouble because they're trying to buy our first touch, first pullback to Eagle or Viper or B29. Wait for the color bar change to happen after it bounces. That will keep you safe. If you don't have the size of the account to do price discovery, then don't do the price discovery. If you're on 50K accounts, you can't afford to do it. Just wait for that spot on this big iStructure chart, and then go over to the iSnipe chart and find the color bar combination that matches. Does that make sense to everybody? Those are the premium trades.
Sir.
Stay in alignment. Don't counter trend trade. That's why we changed the rules of engagement for the iSnipe lines to stop having people chase so many, particularly in these big, huge moving markets, to where they were getting stopped out too much by buying the first touch of the 15, first touch of the 20, first touch of the 35. Those rules still work, but you got to get a feel for that rhythm. And until you get to feel for that rhythm, the best thing is a 4 and 6 to develop, and then you buy the first touch, first pullback to that. If you just follow that, I promise you, in 30 days, you will pass accounts. Within 30 days. It's very simple. It really is. Don't make this harder. It's a lot of spaghetti on the wall. I understand that. Just understand what you're looking for, and then have your eyes see it and your hands buy it. All right? Any questions on that? First touch color bar. Number 1 premium trade. Double arrow, buy and sell dot. Second trade. And I'll talk you through the rest when we can get into certain levels. All right. Let's see what we got going on here. We have market internals that are on their lows, but making a bounce. VIX is hit its low, is making a bounce. We're currently on low ticks right now. The other thing is make sure that the NQ and the ES iSnipe charts are either both red or both blue. That increases that first touch, first color bar rule winning percentage to a very significant, it's got to be 85+%. Now, times when not to trade. When we're around the point of control. Okay? When we're transitioning from one cycle to another. Because you're going to probably accumulate and then distribute after that if you're on a high. So right now, it's thin to win. We've been barking up this huge afterburner tree all night. All yesterday. All we've done is gone up. There is more room to go up. We still have some structural targets. Okay? Way up here. 778. But we're in the money box right now. Already. We're at the top. Hit the top money box line. That's that second green line. Okay, this has to do with volatility. And we've already hit it on the ES. And we already hit it on the NQ. The NQ and the ES. So now we got to give maybe a little bit of breathing room. Figure out what it wants to do. And let it digest the move overnight. You can see we're going sideways around the point of control right now. The other thing to look at is usually when you're around the point of control, the base cloud is extremely skinny and you can hardly decipher whether it's red or green. And you get all these arrows. Yellow, blue, white, yellow, blue, white. So it looks like a chocolate mess. Well, it is a chocolate mess. So if it looks like a chocolate mess, don't trade it. The good thing about the market is that it reveals its hands well enough most of the time that we can pounce on it once it does. If we're guessing about whether it's a good trade, it's probably not really a good trade. Okay, our first 8 minutes have been established. Have a little bit of a higher low here on the right side. Came back down in here and touched this gap on the 1 minute chart. Blue candles. In theory, we're supposed to have an AM high. Okay, now this is a wild card day, so again, I'm going to leave a little bit of room to have it climb and then drop. Just because we've been going up. So right now, price is going up, but market internals are still rolling over. Okay, now we're developing a 4, 6, and 10 with blue candle bars. Okay, so probably, as long as we pull back to the 4 or 6, maybe the 10 and get a fractal, we'll buy it. best place would have been to buy right down here. But we were talking, so we kind of missed that. But that's okay. The other thing is, don't let emotions control you. Everybody's so afraid of missing out of the trade. Don't let fear and greed control your emotions. We get literally 20 plus trades a day. Literally 20 plus trades a day. And for those that can only trade in the morning, there's still going to be several good ones. And now the guns cloud, this yellow arrow means that the base clouds turned green. The white cloud is telling us that the guns cloud turned green. Get a little bit more of a push here. We just hit a liquidity zone on the ES. Okay. And the NQ. If we eat through 64.15 on the ES, we could keep going up. Same with 650 on the NQ. Let's watch this.
Yeah, if we get a break to the 650, that's kind of what I'm looking for.
Say that again, Matt, a little bit louder.
Yeah, if we break through at 650, that'll be nice. That'll be a good confirmation of potential push higher.
I think most people, for this whole Trump rally, Trump tariff rally, have been behind the power curve. Everybody had let so much fear get in that they were afraid to buy the bottom. Then they chased up and they were waiting for a pullback, and there was no real pullback. And then it just shot up, right? Thin to win for a month and a half. We finally have a little peek in the chink in the armor last Thursday night, Friday. And what have we done? We've just had a snapback rally Sunday night through today. I don't think we're going to have as weak of a pullback going into the Christmas season as people think. You know, they always think September, October, you get these big, huge pullbacks so that November, December, you can get a Christmas rally. I'm not sure that's what's going to happen. It just may keep going. Okay, and ES is turning red. NQ's turning yellow. I'm going to start looking for shorts because the market internals are rolling over and now price is starting to roll over. Okay, so I would probably sell this next pullback that we get a fractal on. We are hitting the 20 line, so it may bounce back up to the 10. We'll see. We're already at the point of control again, but I do believe we got some more. I mean, at some point in time, since we've been climbing all yesterday afternoon after the market, all night through Globex, we're going to have some kind of pullback. They can't just go straight up for absolutely ever. Okay, so that was your first touch, first pullback to the 4. Your stop is on top of that fractal. If it goes past that, you get out. We'll get back in again in a minute. we're at the point of control. We're going to chop. Hopefully we get a little spill down, though, that gives us a good retrace.
There we go.
Okay, leg out quick. And lower your stops and hold some runners. Okay, our first 15 minutes is being set right now. We're in the 15th minute. So this will set the IBA low. Little buy ice trying to come out on the ES right here. Let's see if we can take him out. I would try to hold some as long as you're below your, as long as you're good with your stops. We'll probably bounce somewhere between here and the 35 line. But just trail just in case there is more of a flush coming. We are in red arrow down, white arrow down. Let's go down and touch VWAP. R1.
31.35 breakdown.
Thank you.
Got targets at 45, 45. I got a 45, 60, and 75. So I got a target 552, 523, 490.
Okay, we may bounce off this 35, so just be prepared for that.
Yep.
Up to the 10, maybe even the 15, because it's the morning. They overshoot stuff in the mornings. We can short it again here in a second. As long as you're safe and you can keep one runner in case it just continues to flush, try to keep it. I would not counter trend long this right now. Not when we know we're supposed to have a spill down. Okay, IB low is right at the Mach 4 B29 line. So we'll make a mental note of that. Market internals are still rolling over. That was a low tick. So that was the low tick of the morning so far. Makes sense that we're going to get a little bounce. Probably get another chance to short this again. Remember yesterday, we were in that market after trend type two-way traffic for that first 30 minutes, and then we finally broke out of that. Kind of seems like they do that a lot recently over the summer. Two-way trading in the mornings, and they finally cut loose one direction or the other. For right now, spill down AM high until we are proven otherwise. Okay, little sell ice, 10 lot coming out on the ES right here, putting downward pressure on price. Market internals still at their lows. Tesla had a little bit of a bounce down there at the same place that 35 line was, off of a liquidity zone. I would, it depends on where you got in. I'm putting my stop right above Eagle Miner here, because that's still in the money for me. If it goes above that, I'm going to get out and I'll reassess. We're filling a gap on the 1 minute, coming back up to the cash open, which is right at the Eagle line. Here's the first touch of the 10. So this, in this area between the 10 and the 15, we'll want to see if we can roll over again. so I'm stopped. Okay, so now we're getting a 4, 6, and 10 line behind us, below us. So on this one, because we know this bill's down, we'll have to watch the pullback. We want to make sure it doesn't blow through this and continue down. Stick with your rules. First touch, first color bar change. So like in that case, you could have tested 1 or 2 off of that 4. And then you leg out quickly because you know we could just go back down and test the low again. And that's right up to the 20 line. And usually the 20 bounces you. So that 4 is very close to a 20, so you have to leg out extremely fast. Now I bought that, and my stop is going to trail every fractal just because they were at the 20 line. I don't feel like having it reversed against me. Alright, I'm flat on that trade. So 2 successful trades so far, according to the color bar rules. We're still close to the point of control. Market internals are going straight down. So they would have to bounce here pretty significantly to change what I think is going to be more of a pullback. But we'll see. We know the Nasdaq gravy train can keep going in one direction if it wants to. But that's a pretty significant selling off of the market internals. If you look at the tick chart, it's kind of interesting because this most recent low is the only low really below the 0 line. So we've been above the 0 line till just this most recent low, and that was only a minus 116. So that's bullish. Alright, I was looking away, but there was your first touch of your 6 with that star right there on the 6 line. That should have been a buy for me, but I missed it. But coming up into the 20, if we make another high, then we'll have a bull 20 power stack. There you go. I'm a little nervous just because of this build down. So I'm going to give it a second to breathe here. Wait for a pullback one more time. You got the cojones and the pocketbook to do it. You could buy that. But you usually wait for the next pullback between the 6 and the 10. So on a bull power 20 stack, okay, it's when we make a new high above the bear 20 ATR. You wait for the pullback between the 6 and the 10, and you make sure that it reverses back to the upside. So this will be a very important pullback. Look at that, we went right up to the opening range high mark, filled that gap, and then rolled over. So let's watch this, see if they want to go back down some more. We'll let price action tell us. Okay, all MACDs are above their pivot lines. The 3-minute is kind of rolled over, negatively sloped, but above its pivot. The 5-minute's basically flat, just above the pivot. The 15-minute is kind of slightly angling down towards the pivot, but clearly above the pivot. So all that's doing is telling us that we are in a bullish environment with everything above the pivots on all time frames, but we've rolled over just a little bit. Now we're going to see if we get any more pullback or if there's enough momentum to take us higher. First little bit of green I see on the market internals right now. That bull 20 power stack ended up working out pretty good. I wished I had bought it. Coming up to IB high. Now, this can turn into what we call a wedge zoom. All right, so could be that this little spill down is the wedge, and now we just go into buy the dip mode on the way up, and we'll see.
You know, I'm wondering when we had this ABC down move and then we started the climb back up, I wonder if we're in the, you know, the longer, like if that was the, you know, 1, 2, 3 part, and then we're now in the A. We had our A, B, and then the C is always the longest of the 5-wave cycle, LE wave cycle. And that would explain just the continual uptrend, you know, which could, if this turns into a wedge zoom, support that as well.
Well, let's see what they do right here at the IB high. We're going to break out a level that's just above it. There, all the candles are blue. Yeah, I'm kicking myself for not buying that pullback to the 6. Shoot. Alright, let's see what happens at this breakout level. I'm a little leery, but they have proven so far it's still buyer's market. What I don't like is that the market internals are down near their lows. It's going to take a lot of volume to just keep totally pushing this up from here. Got to keep it above this IB high. Got that liquidity that you can see up there on the ES at 64.13, 64.15 area. And we got 655 to 660 on the NQ. If we break through that 660 level, we could keep going. Right now it's acting as resistance overhead. We saw yesterday in the first 30 minutes a little bit of two-way trading between the IB high and the IB low. I hope we don't quite do that. I mean, I kind of like it because it gives us two-way trading, which is nice, as to just purely buy the dip. Okay, the candle bars turned green back to blue. Okay, we're going to go get that buy target 2 there and probably R2 up here. Got this high target at 709. Make sure you leg out some at target 2 here. You see how the candles went from green back to blue with a buy dot right there on the ice snipe chart off this new 4 ATR line? That was a buy right there. That was a buy of the little dip. Okay, that frog is a large sell order, which just stopped me out. Let's watch what happens with this 6. I've tagged it a couple times already. Okay, rolling over. There's a little spike there. Got the the bear ATRs here. Remember, market internals are still on their lows, so it's hard for the market just to go straight up. The market internals are not following. Okay, back below IB high. Red candles. I just want to make sure that we're not going to bounce. I'm sticking with the color bar rules. There's your first fractal on the red, but you're down close to that 15 line, so watch it. Make sure it doesn't want to bounce here. Do have these fair value gaps down here closer to the 20. Okay, now you have a 10 line, so now we're going to short the next bounce up between the 4 and the 6. As long as the candles stay red. Okay, here's the 4. A little bit of an exhaustion star. Let's watch this. That 15 can sometimes take us all the way to the 10. Especially on a big impulse move like that. Okay, I'm selling that. And I'm going to leg out quick and then try to hold runners. We're still in the first half-hour mark here. Things overshoot just a little bit. We did hit this orb high here, which was a fair value gap. And prices crossed from below the base cloud to above. So usually we buy on the ice structure chart the first fractal that develops here. So this is, we have opposing forces here. I'm flat on that short. I'm a little concerned about it buying one more time here. I'm going to watch and observe, because usually I buy the first fractal after it crosses above the cloud. But the cloud is so skinny here, it's not quite as strong as I would like it to be. And the market internals are still, they made a new low off that last pullback. I'm going to watch this. ES is staying red. We got plenty of trades coming up, so don't force it. NQ is blue. Candles. So there's not confluence between the two charts. I'm just sitting on my hands. Got a little bit of liquidity zone here below us on the ES at 64.03. Okay, they just hit it. Let's see if they bounce off of that or if we flush. Okay, 5 after. Getting to the point where the spill should be coming to an end. So if we break back above the IB high, then we're probably going in to finish this by the dip. If we keep breaking down below this next fractal, we might get a little more pullback to follow the market internals. Okay, the NQ is now red along with the ES, but making a slightly, if we break below this pivot right here, this 632, I'll sell it. Right now it's a right-sided pivot wall with a slightly higher low. I want to see us break below that to go short. Alright, there we go. I'm short. I just hope they don't double bounce us. Jerks. Okay, that was a Fox 3 long right there. I'm flat again. Choppy here. Bounced right off our Fox 3 line. First touch of that. So this is where having both charts helps. Because if you've got two things going against each other, then you're like, just trade a little smaller or don't trade at all. Here was the first fractal buy after we crossed from below the base cloud to above it. And here was the first touch of the Fox 3 after we went above the base cloud. So now I want to see what happens with the 10 here. If we don't roll over, then we're probably going to go back to buy the dip mentality. So I want to see what happens on any pullback to the 4 and 6 here. Right now, we're just doing this consolidation building up mode for the next big move. Here's the 4, 6. Let's watch this. The 10 usually takes you down to the opposite 4 and then the opposite 6. So I'm going to give it a little bit of breathing room. Again, the market internals are on their lows. Okay, so this is the one thing that's making me a little hesitant about going long, is that the market internals are still going straight down. Short again. Back to the point of control. So when you got to leg out on your trades because you just don't know whether they're going to bounce or not, especially on a potential wedge zoom type day. They've been buying all the dips for the last 2 days. Cruising at 21 points per minute. A little bit of liquidity still below us at 63.96. Market internals are still selling off, so it's two-way trading right now. They're selling both the tops and the bottom, buying the bottoms and selling the tops. That last spike down was a low tick of the day. We make a new low price. Then we got bearish divergence finally. I think we're going to have a little more of a pullback, just the way the market internals look, unless they start bouncing here. Still a little negative biased.
Ugh. Glad I got short on that one. Not gonna lie, that was tough. This first half hour has been very difficult.
Yeah, it's been choppy. But that's also why we say don't trade very much in the first 30 minutes, right?
Yep. No, I know. Yeah, same. I mean, I was just trying to keep, just to keep it nice and tight. I'm green, but it was, yeah. I feel like my heart monitor would be like Ramesia's yesterday when we posted.
Yeah, I'm getting my butt handed to me this morning.
That's why you don't want to overtrade it first. You want to let it kind of develop. I know it's easier said than done. You just got to trade very, very small. See if you can stay in alignment. Come flat. You have to be quick. The only way, in my opinion, you can trade this is if you have your pre-set targets with your ATM strategy and you get in exactly when the right indication comes.
Yep.
Okay?
Mm.
And then it hits. And your stops, you bring your stops to break even as soon as you can. You only get your first, maybe 1 or 2 targets. That's it.
Or like,
market internals are still weak. Okay, still weak. We're Wyckoffing here to the. You can see it's sideways, but the market. I don't think this is completely over yet.
But it's even like you were saying today, if you just, if you look at the trades that we've had, a key eye structure bounces and then color bar change, we've had one, and it's been at B29, and it worked, if you scalped it. So, but you would have only had one trade this morning and all this chop.
Yep. Well, we're stuck between IB high and IB low, basically, right now.
Yeah.
We're right back between we're bracketing the point of control. The market internals are still making lows, though. Okay, so there's still a downward pressure. The buyers keep coming in and buying the dips because they've seen that if I don't buy the dips over the last month and the last couple days, then you miss out. So the buyers keep coming back in, but then you still have some market internals that are giving the sellers an opportunity. So it's a little bit of a tug of war, which is why we're bouncing around the point of control. Got two-way trading right now. We had two-way trading yesterday for the first 30 minutes. We got two-way trading right now for the first 30 minutes. Problem is, you're moving at almost 25 points per minute, so it's pretty fast. So you either got to do the MES, trade smaller, or don't trade at all. And you have to have precise entries. You got to get in, like right when you see it, like right when you see this fractal develop here, or the first touch of the Fox 3, or the first 4 and 6 pullback. What sucks is that the Europeans recently keep getting the best price action. Continuation of one way or the other, right? They are not having this whipsaw that we have in the first hour.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this 15 line is the next structural bounce location. Now we cross down below the base cloud. The base cloud is starting to get a little wider. So what do? We're going to look for a fractal to sell somewhere between Eagle and the Fox 3. A little bit of bounce, a little bit of green coming into the market internals. We're wedging in, we're making a series of lower highs and higher lows and lower highs. Let's see if we get one more leg down to test down.
There's a big band of liquidity that just came out at 720 in the queue. Very thick band.
Look at the colors changes in the NQ and the ES. We're going sideways around the point of control. Lots of arrows, meaning lots of chop. I still think there's a little bias. There's your fractal up there. Okay. Come on, sell it more. Sell it more, sell it more. Come on. Break down, please. Let's get out of this zone. We've already hit very huge price targets overnight. Market returners are selling off. I still have a little bit of a bias to the downside, ever so slightly. The problem is the buy the dip guys keep coming in. I'd like to see one more test down to the downside. Okay, big huge liquidity zone at 63.86 on the ES. If we break below this, I think we're going to flush a little bit. Okay, getting a little more of a bounce out of the market internals. That was a low tick. That was the low tick of the morning. Let's watch, see what happens. Okay, off that 15 line, I'm selling one more time. Now you can see that we're in this choppy sideways action. This is where you have to know what the ITS, how to play ping pong, okay? Because look what we just did. First touch of that 10, now we're bouncing up to the opposite 6. Now let's see what happens here. This will probably be our last chance to really sell it. Otherwise, we may not go down any lower. Stuck at the point of control. Totally wedging in here.
It's definitely feeling that way.
consolidating here. Let's figure out which way we're going to break. Well, it'll tell us in a minute. Be patient. Look at that, man. It's just slight tilt. Kind of flagging up a little bit. Maybe to have one more drop. Let's see. Come on, short one more time for us. Come on, one more. Break this and let's go down. Man, those buyers just keep coming in. I can see one more flush. One more flush. Let's go. Oh, we're gonna break this 35, man. If we can't break that 35, we're not going anywhere. So we got to break below 580. Got to get out of this range bound. Come on. Cumulative delta's a little negative. Here's IB low. Let's go. Let's break it. Watch for a bounce to VWAP. You gotta leg out some. And make sure that we don't bounce off of VWAP. I hope we go down to R1 or that breakout level down there. Let's go. Come on. Break. Break below VWAP. Don't bounce off of it. Worst case scenario, you got to assume worst case scenario, so lower your stops. Hold some just in case. There you go. Flush. Good. Down to R1. Mustang. Watch for a bounce here. 45 line. Big area. You got to leg out. Okay. Big. Got to leg out a little bit. Very tight stop. We would have to flush through this really hard to keep going. Massive confluence here of support. So if we do break it, it's a good sign for the bears. I am flat and watching. I'm not going to let this bounce like a 80-point bounce on me. Market turtles.
Right, our one Mustang.
Yep. Okay, there's the flush below. That was good for the Bears. I wasn't sure they were going to do that. Okay, so now, don't catch a falling knife. Don't be trying to pick a bottom.
He has had a lean flip or order book flip to the downside.
Okay, we have 100 lot sell ice up at 63.81 on the ES. So still sell pressure till we take that dude out. Okay, he's at 63.81. Then there's another one up at 63.87. So remember those numbers. 87.81, 87.81 on the ES. Sell ice. Now, we still have plenty of room to go down, guys. Plenty of room and plenty of time. So we could bounce and go down and have another leg down.
It's kind of changing your thought on the cycle.
No, because it's we know it's either a link stink or a wedge zoom, right?
Yeah.
So right now, it's looking more like a link stink. Wedged up overnight, now we're selling off. It just, the buyers weren't ready to let go in that first 30 minutes. And they finally let go. But again, you know, we were up here at this possible high, our golden target, and we'd hit up top of the money box. And we know we usually get a reaction off those spots. It was just tough. We had to double test it up there a couple times. Now look at those candles. All that chop, chop, bounce up, bounce down. Finally broke the M. So we broke that M at 579. So let's see if we can get a little more out of this to the downside. Still time on the clock to keep going down. Alright, so a little consolidation to a bounce here. Let's see what they do with it. Right above our ace line. I would have loved to see us actually tag the ace line in the breakout level. A lot of confluence right down here. In this 535 area. Even if we do bounce here, maybe come up here and fill this fair value gap, we'll come retest the lows at least one more time. Most likely. Okay. Doesn't surprise me coming back and tagging VWAP. Fair value gap right here. The retest will be what's important. A little bit of liquidity up to 575 on the NQ. 575 on the NQ. Took out that 100 lot guy. And, well, we had buy ice down there, but he just pulled it. 50-lot buy ice just got taken out. Okay, got one more leg here, it looks like. Okay, trips red right now, guys. We got to break through this 548 here. Got to break below it to go more. Let's get one more flush down. Come on, break it. Don't bounce. Gotta get you to break. Okay, it's fourth time testing down here. We gotta be careful. Right now it's a floor of support. Let's go, break it, break it, it's gonna break it, it's gonna break it, it's gonna break it. Come on, finish. Come on, finish. Don't bounce. Ah! Jerks. Finish it. Just can't quite get it. Alright, I'm flat on that idea. Did not break down on that retest. Now the market internals are starting to climb, getting a little bit of a W formation down here. Problem is we're in trips red right now. First touch, first color bar to the 6. I'm taking a very small one just in case they spring it up. We still are have a little more time that we could go down, so I still expect maybe a little two-way of trading here. What I don't like is that we are what we call a trips red situation. I don't like buying too much in there. I'll do a little bit just for these big bounces when we're tagged something 5 or 6 times, but I'm not all in. I am long off the 6. We'll see what happens. Yeah, I'm out of that. I don't trust that. It's not bouncing good enough. Freaking gonna go sideways here again.
All right, guys, I'm out of here. I gotta head to the office. Good luck.
All right, doggy. See ya.
All right, later.
That was a tough morning. Hope Stefan was okay. Freaking Europeans get all the good action when we get this chop crap in the morning. I mean, the indication's still been there. We saw that the market, we barking that the market internals were selling off all morning. They finally released. You have to pick the right place, and then you got to try to hold, you know, the runners. But you can only do that if you've gotten up at a good enough level. Otherwise, you just got to, you know, leg out so fast, move your stops. It's been a tough morning. Now we're going sideways again. Market internals still on their lows, so I'm not all in on any longs yet. VIX is up near 17.75. Buy ice did come out on that ES down there at 555. See what happens if they retest that. sitting in my hands. I'm watching. I don't trust it because all indications are not in alignment, so just not worth getting banged up over.
Yeah.
When we're firing on all 6 cylinders, it's like taking candy from a baby. So we have to ask ourselves, are we taking candy from a baby? If the answer is no, then you back off a little bit, you observe, and you wait. Very small range to do. Right now, the top of the range is the IB low. Bottom range is the ace line. Buyers are trying to come in. Okay, we're still in range until we break out of this IB low. Okay, so just don't be trying to buy a breakout too soon. Watch this pullback. This will be the pullback. Now that we got a new 4 and 6, let's watch to see if the color bars stay blue. If we can bounce off between 4 and 6. This is also first touch of the Fox 3 line right at IB low. So again, things are not in alignment yet. Okay, I'm doing a very, very, very small buy off that 4. Little leery about being right up against the IB low, the 20 line, and the Fox 3 line. Okay, I'm flat just because of the exact reason.
Like it to break down and get to those euro levels if possible.
Yeah.
Be great.
We're just in a chop fest right now.
Yeah.
Death by 1,000 paper cuts right now. I really can't argue with the first touch of the Fox 3. It's just, you just can't do it. I'm short.
First fractal, for sure.
I guess when we said it was wild card day to start off with, because we'd already been up near those highs. We meant it. It's the first real tough morning like this since we've had the volatility coming in. It's usually been a little more follow through. I mean, yesterday we had two-way trading, but it wasn't quite as choppy as it is today. We had a little more, flow. And this has been way tougher. Smaller range with the two-way action. Yesterday was a little bit larger range with the two-way action. Hit that the Europeans get consistent price action recently.
That's green, now I'm red. Try to recover here.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I'm being a little more patient with the trades. That was the first touch of the 4. Okay. Buy dot with a buy arrow.
Man, zero freaking follow through.
Yep.
Absolutely none.
Just trade smaller, guys, until something starts happening better. Just trade smaller. Don't try to, if you're red, don't try to catch it all up right now. Okay, it is a choppy two-way. It's a two-way choppiness right now. No follow through. What I don't like is that the market internals are still on the lows. I'm not convinced we're not going to have another leg down. I got to be honest with you. There's the first touch between the after that first Fox 3, so that was an eagle short. We may get another little leg down here. Okay, is what it feels like to me. Market internals have not climbed whatsoever. We're going to break it this time. We're going to come down to at least that breakout level, I think, if not lower. Maybe down to the possible high, 520. What do you see for liquidity? We got buy ice right here on the NQ. If we take these out, we're going down. Got a big wall liquidity at 63.75 on the ES. If we break below it, we're going down. Eating through it right now. Going to flush. It's going to flush. Come on, flush. That was a full tag of the ace line with a wick. Be careful here. There you're getting an impulse move. Just did that little peeky boo below that liquidity zone on the ES. Now we're forming a W there. Got a W on the chart here with an impulse move. Pretty good. That might be it. That might be it. I think that's it for the low. We just double bottomed. Okay, with a wick on the ace line on the breakout target. Okay, go into buy mode now.
Unbelievable.
That ace line is going to give us 100 points up. Need the market internals to come a little bit more though. Need those market internals. Market internals just will not climb. They just keep staying on their lows. So the buyers keep buying the dips and the sellers keep selling the rips. Okay, the VWAP line is where the T-map is, okay, right now. That's our bullish above, bearish below line. Sitting on my hands, sitting on my hands, sitting on my hands. Come on, data. Data's reloading. There we go. Okay, we have a surfer up at 23580 on that last high on the NQ. And there's still that surfer up at 6387. 75 lot on the ES. 6387. Market internals are still on the lows of the day. Until we break out of this range, I'm really not trading very much. But I tell you what, when the market internal is low like that, it certainly makes me think we're got a little more downside. I came in this morning thinking I was going to be like super patient, really waiting. I jumped in a little bit too much, too soon on some of that chop. But we got a floor down here that's not been broken yet. How many times we tested this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 6 times. So we are in a range, very tight range. Until we clearly break out one way or the other with some massive volume, we've just got to assume it's going to stay the same. Maybe it'd be like this all day. Who knows? All I can tell you is that the market internals, until they get a significant bounce, there's downside pressure still. Okay, here's your 60 line, another place to balance it. You gotta watch these areas. Okay, let's go. Go down there. Break it and go. Go down to the IB test area. Staying below VWAP, staying below the IB low so far. Candles are all red. Until you get a really good reason to buy, like a bull, bear, and forward, do not buy anything. Market internals still painting the picture of trending lower. Market internals are not showing any green yet, even though we got this bull 4 and 6 starting to develop. Still on the lows of the day. Now, I talked to you guys about this earlier. We should be talking about. We should be calling this out every time. Base cloud is red. Guns cloud is red. What do? We sell the very first indication of the what? Red arrow, right there. Okay. If you didn't sell the eagle right here with the sell dot, that would be the next place to sell. Third place to sell would be a white arrow with a sell dot on it. These are giving us the clues. You just got to follow them. To sell the extreme rips and just continue to hold, or don't trade until we see some other reason to buy. Okay, we're starting to kind of go sideways here. Maybe we're in a base here now. Let's wait for the color bars to turn blue. We still have some liquidity below us down here. 63, 65. All the way down to 505, 510 on the ES. A little bit of liquidity right here at 35, 535 on the NQ. See if we can break through that to the upside. Get a little tiny bounce, a little bit of green coming in on the market internals. Buy this first pullback to the 4. Trying to stick with the rules as best I can. Get something out of it. Got to do it right away in order to have any targets to get hit and some follow through. Okay, I got stopped out. I might buy it here again in a second. Watch this, see if we develop a fractal. Okay, I'm not buying that now. Okay, I'm buying it one more time. Candles turn blue again. My stop will be below the last fractal there. If I get stopped out, I get stopped out. Let's get above this eagle minor line here on the ice night chart. We can keep going. Let's get above this. I'm flat. Not enough follow through. Gonna drizzle us down. When I take my trades, I'm going break even as soon as possible just in case it bounces against me, and I might only get my first target. the only thing I can do right now. Short
Yeah,
one
I'm
more
switching
time.
back. I can't take any more losses today.
Say again.
Yeah, I'm switching back to SIP for today. I can't take any more losses on the account.
Okay. Might be a smart thing to do. This is just a bouncing chop fest from one area to the other. They're slow leaking us down. They are. So you gotta look at the major places to get in. Then just try to peek it, but you gotta come break even like right away. Like right away. First touch of the 6. Alright, that was a pretty good little sell stop into sell sweeps, V shape, with buy volume coming in right after on the NQ. Pretty good buy volume. I'm going to buy this next pullback. As long as we stay color bars blue. Where you trade like, you know, 1 or 2 micros, and then maybe you try to leg in if you think you got the right idea. But you keep having these deeper pullbacks, but then it keeps going in the direction you think it's going to go.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, when you take a trade, it's, you try to, that's what I was doing, was taking one at a time. But, you get in one or two, it goes up, and you're trying to get those runners, because it's like with these choppy environments, if you do 5 micros and you got, these various targets, 3 bad trades in a row, the ratio just doesn't work in your favor.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the biggest problem is so you got to do like 1 or 2 at a time, put the targets far enough out, but you're kind of like screwed if you don't take your profits early.
Yeah.
But then you lose your runner, so it's like you
Yeah.
kind of have to pick your poison. And
Yeah.
when you start making poor decisions on when you should take it versus when you shouldn't, you end up in a day like this where just you just get hosed.
Sell ice at on that last high on the NQ up there at 44. They keep popping us up and then just selling it, and then they get a whole flash and they pop it back up and then they sell it. So it is very choppy, guys. I don't know what to say on today. Sorry. Wish I could change the market dynamics. Buying that little fair value gap bounce with the buy dot here. See if we get up to the opposite 4. Market internals have not done anything for us to make us think we're going to have any kind of super bounce. Still just a drizzle down type environment where they buy the sweep down and then they sell it off again. Very small trading range. Okay, guns clouds turning green. Got a little bounce off the 6 with some fair value gaps right below it. We've got to break out above the Fox 3 to get excited about anything. There we go. Hopefully get some runners out of this one. Stay green. I'm gonna add to it again. Market internals have finally made a little bit of a bounce here. Kind of a little double bottom type looking on like the advancers and decliners. Let's see if this can be the one move that finally takes us up a little bit. Okay, color bars are yellow. I'm stopped out. I'm going to see what happens on this 10. Not taking a loss. See what happens at the 6. We can turn back to being blue. Well, it's for sure this day wrecked a lot of people so far.
Yep.
I'm going to be weeping and gnashing of teeth today. flat, obviously. Color bars went against me up there. I got stopped out. I'm going to watch this again, see what happens. Market internals have not made any big, huge bounce. Started to, but did not follow through. Just controlled sell down. The clouds are still angling down at a 45-degree angle on both sides, so it's still downward pressure. Okay, impulse move. Let's look to buy this maybe. We'll see if it stay blue on the pullback. Otherwise, just don't trade.
Hasn't been a good day for me.
What's that?
Hasn't been a good day for me.
Nah, it hasn't been a good day for anybody. It's been a tough day. Tough day, Vac. Toughest morning in a while. A lot of getting chopped up. Alright, that's finally some volume to break us out above the Fox 3. So now, that pullback on this hopefully will be the one to make a higher low and the move to the next upside. That's a pretty big impulse move. Okay, finally getting a 6, 10, and a 15 below us. So you got to buy the pullback if you didn't get in already.
tell you the one trade that's just never disappointed me is the 75 line.
Did yours tag the 75, or was it a little above it?
No, it didn't tag it, but I mean, I was willing to scale in,
Yeah.
you know. But it is the one trade that just never, even if it does disappoint, it's usually because there's ticks or some, you know, you get some other point that's like probably gives you a heads up, but it's just the one trade, man, that just never disappoints. It usually always bounces, you know, 9 times out of 10.
Yep. That's why we got him on there.
Always, and it goes more than, you know, 10 points, 20 points. You know, it's the one that goes like 50 to 60.
Yeah.
It's a big pull. You know what I mean?
First time in a while we've had a 6, 10, 15, and a 20 below us, and now it's on top of that 75. So try to hold them.
What are you thinking as far as upside target potential?
Let's draw a little fibbo here. How about we do that?
It's probably a good place to start.
We would have to go and break above Eagle again to really think we could go up higher. Right now, this has been, you know, one giant wedge down so far.
Mm-hmm.
And I would label it as a wedge. So there's two places on a, see, this is what makes this day so tricky. There's two places that you can have the wedge zoom. So hopefully probably up here to at least the Viper. That would be the next line after Eagle was touched, right up here. So maybe 587. But you can get a low either around the 8:30 time frame, or you can get a low, honestly, around the 9:30 time frame. So the wedge can go down all the way to then. So what you have to do is look at the market internals and structure to decide. But you can never do it till after like the second or third turn. That's the problem. And that's the downside, unless it shows itself to be a, you know, really strong buy the dip. What this has been is to sell the rally, not to buy the dip. A little hard to see because, you know, we kept getting these big, huge bounces. But when you look at this chart like this as it is, honestly, it's not that hard just to see. It was just choppy as it was going on. So now here we are going to retest this low. Let's see what it does. Let's see if we can bounce. Let's do another little fibbo. I'm going to erase that top one. We know that's up by Viper. Oops. What did I just do? Let's do a little fibbo from low to this most high at Mustang. That was a first touch Mustang rollover. Combo 4 R1. Here we are at the 65% line. The base cloud is still pretty wide red with that bottom still angling down. So still pressure to the downside until we can get that to start curving up. Okay, getting the red arrow down again. I am selling this right here, just a little bit. I'm going to stay in alignment between the clouds. I know it's going to be small though, very small. Very small because we could triple bottom here and make an inverted head and shoulders. I just want to see if we're going to flush one more time. I told you earlier today when I talked to you guys, if the base is red and we go back to red arrow, I sell when I'm in alignment with the base cloud. I'll bring my stops to break even like right away. And then if it flushes, I got it. If it bounces against me, I'm stopped out. Two minutes to the European close. Okay, legging out here at the ace 2 line. Okay, now I'm stopped out. But I made money because I had a sell dot and a red arrow staying in alignment with the red base cloud. Now I'm going to watch, see what happens. We have not gone above your stop, although I had it really tight. Needs to be at the bottom of the arrow. If we were to bounce above the arrow, the red arrow here, and then come back below the tip again, I would go short again. Right now, we have not even come back to the tip. So I probably had my stop a little too tight. But since we were already making this low, I'm a little worried about a bigger bounce off this ace 2 line. So let's just watch now. Now I'm flat, I'm observing. The problem is with any big bounces is that the market internals still have not started really climbing significantly. They've showed every now and then a little tiny pop, but they've done nothing to have any major advances. It's all very red on all the market internals. Huge liquidity zone here, 63.60. 63.60. Right here at 23,500 on the NQ, but then we got another liquidity zone down at 480 on the NQ. First touch of the ace line, getting a little bit of bounce. Probably going to take just a little tiny long on this pullback to the 4 and 6. If we get a fractal, if I see a bounce off the 4 and 6, anywhere between the 4 and 6, like that one right there, legging in just a little bit, And I'll add if it pulls back to the 6 and bounces off the 6. If it breaks much below the 6, that trade's over. Legging out a little bit. Buy dot on that 4. Turning blue but angling down. So if you didn't get in, wait a minute. If you did get in, probably put your stops down here below this fair value cap. It's got to be small enough that you got to be able to have some room to maneuver. My stops are right below this last fractal. Color bars are yellow, but I'm not going out unless we break below that fractal. Gotta have a little room to breathe. What I don't like is there's more liquidity below us. And the market internals, gonna be honest with you, they are not climbing. Flat and flat. Market internals are still going down. Horrible internals. Pops are very short-lived. They pop them, but it's very short-lived. Back to trips red right now. See what happens here on this double bounce of this 75 line. So we had this red arrow. We went down to the ace. We bounced up beyond the end of the arrow. We came back down below the arrow, and now we've got a red arrow plus a white arrow. So I shorted the white arrow right here at this 510 area. My stop will be with this fractal right above it here at 520. If we bounce above that, then I'm out. I don't know how else to trade it other than to give it a chance, a little bit of room to breathe. If it stops me out, it stops me out. So far, right-sided pivot roll off the 75 line. Price did not climb beyond the base of that arrow. Till it breaks above that, no longs. Okay, color bar blue. I'm gonna buy. See if I can catch some of the impulse move to the upside. My stop will be right below the fractal on this 4. Just taking a small chance on it. Okay, stopped out. Sucky day. Now in this Wyckoff pattern here. Got a larger one right here. A little bit of a smaller one.
It's also at the Euro levels too, so that
Yep.
might be where they try to find some sort of base here too.
Good news is that the low usually finds a low around the 8:45 time frame. So if you want to go long, you just kind of wait till that time frame goes out. So give it about another 5-10 minutes. I think we're basing down here. Then I think we're going to get a pop. Okay, that's what I think.
Yep.
I think we're basing down here. I'm going to start buying dips. Okay, buying dips at the bottom of our 2 zones here. Go back to using the Navdar cycle, knowing that the lows are supposed to be coming in here in the next within the next 10 minutes. So far, making a little bit of higher highs, higher lows with buy dots at the bottom. Okay, higher lows with buy dots at the bottom. Let's see if we can keep buying the bottoms, legging out on the way up, in case they reverse on us again. But buy the bottoms of these ranges and then leg out. So what we did is we sold through the AM high. So instead of making an AM high, we sold down through it. Okay. The AM high was this little right here, spot right here. Okay. Just looking at it right now from a 10,000 foot view. This was the AM high, and then we just continued to sell off during the AM high, and then we've come into the AM low time frame in which we are now basing. So we just wedged down into the AM low time frame. So somewhere down here, we're going to finish making an AM low. Then we're going to get another little bounce out of it. So that's why I'm just kind of looking to buy these bottoms once they start bouncing up. The low time frame's not over yet. Still in a range. Just buy the lows and leg out.
That 2-lot sell ice surfer is still sitting up there at 580.
Just let it kind of finish making a bottom here. Let it build a 4 and 6. Okay, that's probably the best thing to do. Just let it bottom. Get an impulse move up that will create a bull 4 and 6. Then we'll buy that pullback. So don't pick a bottom. Because we don't know if it wants to have one last little flush, you know, to kind of just finish the move or what. So, yeah, we are finding support here, but we also could just flush down one time on it. So you either have to pick your poison. You keep legging in 1 or 2 down here, and then you leg out when it pops. Leg 1 or 2 down here. Or you wait for the 4 and 6 to develop. Depends on how good of a sniper you are. The degree of where we bounce next will decide whether this is a link stink or not for now. If it's a very shallow pop into the 9 to 10 time frame, we have a whole another leg down we could go after that. Buy ice came out down here on that last low on the NQ. You can see the buy dot as well, right on the 75 line. Still give it a few minutes here to make sure. Sellers keep coming in at the pops. Buyers keep buying the dips. Two-way trading for these guys. Let them battle it out for about another 5 minutes or so here. We'll see what happens. You'll see an impulse move up. So just wait for the impulse move up. That creates a bull 4 and 6 line. We're too low now to keep shorting. So I'm not shorting and I'm not going to buy. We pierced the low end of this. So now I want to see an impulse move up. I was buying the dips, trying to pop out, sell it as we were popping up. Probably just did our little spring action fake out to the bottom down here. This is probably going to be like a little peekaboo. Okay. It'll be a little peekaboo down here, and then we'll start getting hopefully an impulse move to the upside. That will change the color bars and enable us to go long. So again, we want to see an impulse move, color bars change, a pullback with a higher low, and then see if we can do that. If we make a new low, then and don't get it 4 and 6 with a color bar, then the move's not done. Just telling you what we want to see. We haven't seen it yet. Maybe it's a link stink. They just want to keep selling it all day. All we can do is look at our rules and try to obey them. Not catching falling knife. Okay, so that clearly wasn't a peekaboo, and we're making another leg down. Good thing we're not trying to buy that yet. Too late to sell, too early to buy. Man, we got liquidity down there still. Jeez. Let's take a look at a little fiddle action here. All right, if you look at my chart, this low down here from 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon, we're at the 65% of that right now. Okay. If we break much more below this, then we're going to have to go draw from another reference point down here. It'd be crazy if we came down and filled the gap.
Mm-hmm.
Climb up. Now, the other thing to think about, okay, I mean, there's just so many things to talk about all the time. The Europeans got all that action after close yesterday, right? I mean, look at this. Yesterday close, then they climbed it all night long to early this morning. So the Europeans got a freaking... where did we close? Europeans got a 255-point climb. Okay. What does Wall Street want?
Mm-hmm.
Wall Street, right? We came up here to these highs. Wall Street wants some kind of pullback so they can get some of the fun, right? They missed that whole overnight thing. So Globex rose it up with the London buyers. Wall Street's selling it off, and then probably going to accumulate down here and then buy it up. Okay, down to the D level. 61.8 line. Okay, let's get back to our charts here. Impulse move up, 4 or 6. Now I'm going to buy this pullback here. All right, end of an AM low, right at a 65% line. Sounds like a good place to have a bottom.
Mm-hmm.
I'm buying that fractal right there because I don't want it to go without me.
Hey, Kelly, you there?
What's that?
Hey, did you see the text I sent you?
No. Sorry, I wasn't looking.
Oh, well, Brent and them are trying to send you messages, but it's saying that you can only receive messages from friends.
Who's trying to
It's
send
saying
you?
like Brent, who was in the room before. Remember, he's a ship captain. He's gone for 2 or 3 months at a time.
Yeah. Just have him send me a friend request.
He can't. It's saying you can only get it from friends only.
Okay, send me what his name is.
I did. I sent it to you yesterday, I believe. I sent you a text with it.
Oh, I didn't see that. Okay, a Koofsman. Okay, let me see if I can send him. Let me see if I can get him. Hold on.
All right, cool.
Okay, for the first time, we're making kind of like a little double bottom in some of the market internals, with a little bit of a right-sided pivot roll on some of the market internals. So that's the first indication, really, of the market internals showing any kind of reversal at all. So this is probably the AM low for now. We got a Texaco star down there. We had an extreme green dot. We had an exhaustion star, and we have a fractal at a 65% line. Now we're getting now we're getting a double arrow, white and blue. Okay, with all the candles being green on the NQ and the ES ice knife charts. So definitely want to be buying the pullbacks here.
Yeah. You know, looking back to it, some other previous days that we had there were a few days where it kind of wedged into this like 8:50, 9 o'clock window and then zoomed up the rest of the day.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
That's because it's dip buying, right?
yep, yep. And to your point about the euro lows, trying to come in and get that so they can, continue the upside potential and have a good opportunity to buy long. That does make sense.
Got this big old fair value gap right above us. We can get maybe come up here, pull back one more time, and then make another leg higher. Hopefully. If we can only climb up into this fair value zone and then we roll back over, that's a weak indication we may just continue the sell-off. Big huge liquidity zone up at 540, which is right at that breakout level in the middle of that fair value zone. So we're going to probably go up to the 540 area and then we'll see from there. Okay?
Yeah.
Try to hold your longs up to 540. Manage the trade. You may have to leg in and leg out a couple times. I don't know if we're going to pull back to the 6, pull back to the 10. It's been weak, so we might still get some pullbacks. You might have to leg in and leg out a couple times. Today's clearly been a head fake day. On some of the trades, they sweep it up, then they sell it off. They sweep it down, buy it. We have created a fair value gap down here. So when we do bounce back down, we'll probably come back and fill this fair value gap down here at the 500 level. They're going to try to spoof you. Going to have a little back and fill and then another climb. But keep buying the dips. If you get stopped out, you buy the dip. Okay, coming down into this fair value gap, just like we said was a possibility. I do think we will come down here. We'll find find some place to bounce again, and then come up into this fair value gap. Don't go short. Okay, just wait for the buying opportunity. There's your first touch of the 10. Very high probability we're going to bounce again. If you bought that 10, your stops are below the fractal. If you get stopped out, there's nothing you can do about it. It's just the way the market is today. Alright, I got stopped out, so it is what it is. Okay, at the 85 line here, probably get a bounce up to at least the 10. This is the second time we touched it. If we break this low, not a lot below us, and we could have another whole leg down. Because then we'd also be breaking the 65% line here. Booger Wolf, are you still in here?
He's gone.
What's that?
He's gone.
He's gone? Okay. There's some days they just buy the dip all day long. Some days they just sell the rips all day long. See what happens on this pullback between the 4 and 6. Buy it out there. I'm going to take a buy. those candles to turn solid blue if we could. They stopped me out. Which is fine. This is what it is. But eventually here we're going to make a little bottom because the market internals now for the first time have double bottomed, have started to climb, and are getting towards some values that would indicate that we might start rolling over to the upside, rolling up.
Also, the stochastics are almost on the lows.
Thank you.
Okay, but Crash, if you have like the buy dot on the structure,
Yep.
and you get like the first blue dot, is that like a good entry or is it not always the case?
It depends on where you're at. So, for example, you got blue dots here, but they didn't go that far. I mean, you know what I mean?
I mean the blue dots on the bottom.
Down here.
Yeah. No, those put on the bottom. Those is it?
This one right here.
No, the thing no longer.
The green one.
No,
Are you talking about the Momo indicator?
Yes, yeah, Momo, yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Okay. So if it's peaked out at a bottom and you start getting blue dots, like here's your first blue dot right here.
Yeah.
So now you're going to start watching, and it's a right-sided pivot roll. So yes. So now I'm going to watch this. It has been more choppy today than normal, though. So I haven't been paying quite as much attention to it. But look, we are in a time frame where we expect a little more of a bounce.
Yes.
So I'm going to keep buying the dips, hoping for a little bit of a breakup here. I'm hoping this is just a little bit of a peaky boo below the 65% line. If you look at this low over here, it's a slightly double bottom right-sided pivot rule. From this low right here to this low right here. Now again, they can keep selling all day long, just like they can keep buying all day long. We don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know. All you can do is take your structural setups and then go from there.
Yeah.
If it goes against you, you just got to get out as fast as possible so you don't end up losing a lot of money.
Yeah.
All right, well, they just keep selling, guys. So it's just one of those days right now. I'm going to draw the next line here. We got about 4 more minutes. If they keep selling through the next 5 minutes, then we could just keep going down because we're hitting the standard deviation window now of time to where we should be starting a bounce. So 4 more minutes, we're still going down. It's just that kind of day. Now the good news is, while the market is dropping more right now, the market internals are climbing. So to me, we're gonna somewhere in here find a low to where we reverse. Looking at a different Fibonacci. Here's one right here from the low of yesterday at about 9 o'clock. We're right at that 65%. So sometimes the algos pick different lows and different tops from which they do. We have to figure out what the algos are attaching themselves to. That's why sometimes you got to keep drawing Fibonacci's at different levels, because you don't know which one the algos are going to be attached to.
Yes.
They do change them to screw with people. It's not always the most obvious. So I want to see it 4 and 6 develop. I want to see blue candles. We got a little bit of a liquidity zone above us. See if we can buy this one. We can get above this Eagle Miner here. It's been a wall. Okay, so this is the zone we got to break out above. It's 500 level. Okay, we're right here at the 65% breakout line from this most recent high to most recent low. So now we finally breaking out above this mid-range here. So this is probably the low. Now we got a bull 4, 6, 10, 15 below us with a double bottom. Let's see if we can buy this again. We are at the very end of the standard deviation low time frame. Double arrow, finally, after a breakout of the Fibonacci level. Getting a 20 power bull stack, okay? Inside this fair value gap. Finally getting a bull 20 power stack. Buy the pullback between the 6 and the 10. Okay, once again, filling these gaps. Hopefully this one stays and allows us to bounce out of this one. Okay, these candles are turning yellow on the NQ, so you must wait for a bounce. Alright, and turn back positive. Don't just blindly take this yet, because now you're getting a 4 and 6 above us. It's just weak. Have to confirm that the strength has come back into it. Do not want to be a buyer and just have it keep selling into your hand. Stabbing you. If you do anything, you buy like one right here. You put your stop right below it, and you wait to see what happens on the bounce. Starting to get a little doji candle right here. See if this 10 can act as support. Now we're starting to turn a little bit blue. We're building a new 4. Let's make sure that we bounce away from that 4 and we stay blue color bar candles. If you get a fractal, buy it again. There you go. All you can do is buy that. Now put a stop down here below this fair value gap in case it wants to come down here and hit this new 6. Sooner or later, it's going to start taking off. Because those market internals are climbing while we're still kind of chopping down around here. So the buy momentum is building up.
Yeah, you can definitely see that it's rotating, which is good.
We must come break this 516 high. Leg in, leg out. Do not fall in love. Do not assume it's just going to go straight up. You leg out a little bit. You keep a core. Keep a core long. Now you can see that we're... Okay, see this wedge in here? This V shape? You got 4 and 6s over here with a 10 underlying. You came down, hit the 10. Now we have a new 4 and 6 with the same 10. The color bars have turned blue. So this was just a little pullback. And now we're doing a little V-shaped bounce out of this. Stair-stepping our way up. It's slow because there's not a lot. People have been destroyed. People are gun-shy even to take longs now, you know, after all that. They got killed. They don't have a lot of gunpowder. So it's a slow process. It's been a sell day so far. For like 2.5 hours. 3 hours now. Getting ready to come into the slog. That's why we take the trades when we see them. This is a controlled setup. We're cruising at 10 points per minute. It's not slamming against you anymore. Going 25 points a minute. Start to dig ourselves out of a hole slowly but surely. Remember, legging in, legging out.
Yeah, guys, I have to go. See you guys tomorrow.
Okay, Vac, have a good day, dude. Sorry it wasn't better.
Yeah, no problem, man.
All right, see ya. Come on, break above this last high. We need it. see what happens when it comes back to the 6. If it breaks that, then we could come down here to the 15. We just don't know what it's going to do today. A little bit of overhead liquidity, 63.70, where we kind of just double topped on that ES there. We got to break through that, and then a little bit bigger zone at 63.72 right above it, which you can see on my chart. Okay, bouncing off of this 6. So you got to buy it again and put your stop right underneath that fractal, hoping that we get a runner and a breakup. Okay, cannot bounce up very good. See what it does here. Might take a couple of attempts. Alright, I'm flat. I'm just not letting it go against me. Okay, officially going into the slog. I'm going to terminate this YouTube live version because I have to get 100 videos under the new YouTube algorithm. So I'm splitting the days into 2s. I'll be back on the stream in just a second.
Okay.